YouTube, what it do? It's your boy TWV checking in for episode 34 of 40 years of WrestleMania with TWV, which means we are on WrestleMania 34. WrestleMania 34 took place in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in New Orleans, Louisiana. This was the second WrestleMania in this arena after WrestleMania 30. So this WrestleMania was fairly decent. I think I liked 3.5, possibly 4 matches on the card. A lot of it was a bunch of filler. Like, it was 12 matches total. 3 were on the pre-show. So 9 matches. Like I said, a lot of the matches were filler. This was an extremely long pay-per-view. This clocked in, I think, at like 5 hours and 3 minutes. An extremely long watch. Just like the previous episode, that WrestleMania was like 5 hours, extremely long watch. And the episode tomorrow is another 5 hours, so extremely long watch. So that's why I'm reviewing the matches you should watch instead of being like me and watching basically 15 to 16 hours of wrestling in 3 days. So with that being said, let's get to the review. So the first match that I did enjoy on this card was Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. And man, this was an amazing opening match. They all went out there with something to prove. This might be The Miz's best WrestleMania match in my opinion, because he was in a lot of tag matches at the beginning of his career. That match with John Cena was kind of underwhelming because he got concussed and Cena kind of had to walk him through the rest of that match. But this match, Seth Rollins went out there with something to prove. Finn Balor went out there with something to prove since it was his first WrestleMania. And this was great graps. And this was not a 5-star, but it's a 4.5 star. My gripe, it was only 15 minutes. I feel like they had a little bit more left in the tank. If we'd have got it to 20 minutes, chef's kiss, it would have been an amazing match. But it is an amazing match just for 15 minutes and what they were given. And they had to kick off the show once it became live. Like, it was 3 matches before then, but they had to open the show up for the audience and get the crowd hyped for the rest of the pay-per-view, which was 5 more hours basically. Well, 4 hours and 45 more minutes. So it was a great match. I love the ending of the match. So Seth Rollins did a stomp on the Finn Balor's head onto the Miz's back. And then he did another stomp onto the Miz to get the 1, 2, 3 and win the match. But there was a lot of high flying. Rollins was flying around. Balor was flying around. Miz was in there getting in his bag. At one point, he had nailed Rollins with this nasty DDT. It was great grabs. I recommend you watch this match. This was a great match. But with that being said, let's get to the next one. So the second match that I thoroughly enjoyed on the card was Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. And this was extremely great grabs as well. I am going to knock it down a peg only because of Charlotte won. She retained her title and ended Asuka's streak. I would have preferred Asuka winning. Asuka was undefeated for like a year before she lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania. And I feel like that was a waste of a moment because you could have made Asuka a bigger star. Asuka's a big star today, but her beating Charlotte in her first WrestleMania would have made her a super, like, it would put her in that main event caliber, like, just stratosphere out the gate, because Asuka was wrecking shop down in NXT. Like, I seen a lot of old NXT matches of hers. She was down there wrecking shop, going ham, and she goes ham on the main roster too now, but she's kind of older now. She's phased into a different stage of her career, but she can always get elevated back to that main event in the women's division. But there, it's a newer generation of women. But man, this match is great. This is pre Charlotte going to Superstar, and she was still in there giving out great matches. Like, they had 13 minutes and they went to work with them 13 minutes, and it was an amazing match. Like, it was a technical masterclass. They was going exchange for exchange, hold for hold, submission for submission. And I definitely recommend you watch it. I will give it a 4-star. The only reason it's not a 5-star, it loses their whole point, is because Charlotte wins. And this is like the third WrestleMania where I came in and Charlotte either was the champ or became the champ. Thumbs down. So with that being said, let's get to the next one. So the rest of the card was absolutely terrible. I'm just going to read off some of these matches. Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, Bobby Roode and Rusev. A fatal 4-way for the WWE United States Championship match. Stinker. We had the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan versus the Usos versus the New Day. Stinker. They only got 4.5, 5 minutes. I hate short matches. The Undertaker defeated John Cena. That match didn't even clock in at 3 minutes, and it was just a high spot to get Cena on the show. And Taker's entrance was longer than the damn match. Right after that, we had Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Stinker. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat up Daniel Bryan basically before the match started, and he came back at the end and basically won them the match by submission. I didn't like it. I'm not a huge fan of Shane McMahon wrestling in the 2020s, so didn't enjoy that. Nia Jax faced Alexa Bliss. This match was 10 minutes, but it was pretty lackluster in my opinion. Then we had the disappointment of the evening, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So WWE thought they could recapture the magic of them two in New Japan, and they couldn't. Nakamura had kind of cashed in on being on the main roster and started coasting forever after this. This was the start of him coasting to where he is today. This did blow me though, because you can't have somebody win the Royal Rumble, go to WrestleMania and not win. That's how I feel. If the guy or girl wins at WrestleMania, they should win the championship at WrestleMania if they win the Royal Rumble like that. In my mind, that's how I would book it, because it's like you're wasting the Royal Rumble then, because now it's like, if he or she does win, they may not win the belt at WrestleMania. What's the point of that? My opinion on WrestleMania, we're just about to get into a little tangent. WrestleMania should be the reset for your wrestling year, because wrestling doesn't have an off season, so WrestleMania will be your Super Bowl, and then you restart the clock from there, and then we build to the next WrestleMania. Of course, we have all the pay-per-views in between: SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. So you have time to build up new characters or these people that lost their belt, redemption stories, things of that nature. But in my opinion, a lot of people should drop the belt, and the belt should change hands to new people to see if we can build new superstars and tag teams for that next 6 months, year long. Everybody doesn't need a year long title reign, but let's see, we can build a team up 3 months after the show. They have the belt from WrestleMania to whatever it may be, 6 months. However you're gonna bridge it out. That's just how I feel about it. I could get into more details about this in another video. But back to it. Braun Strowman and Nicholas, a kid out of the crowd, versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Stinker. This was 4 minutes. And the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. 15 minutes of pure agony. These guys do not have the best in-ring chemistry with each other. Their best match is not even a WrestleMania match. It is a SummerSlam match in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, when it was like a no-holds-barred match. That was their best match in my opinion, but these WrestleMania matches have been terrible. So with that being said, it's your boy TWV checking in and checking out. I'll catch you tomorrow for the next one. Peace.